Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hailka empath, and I just like doing these little talks on the way I feel about things. And today I feel pretty good about things. I hope you feel pretty good about things too. It's just I was doing my meditate state today. I always shoot for about an hour. Some days, if I'm real lucky, like last weekend, I got like 3 days. I got like an hour and a half. That's so nice. Or out 15, 20 minutes, something like that. But that's a nice time to be freaking disconnected from yourself, you know. So, that's something I like to do in the evening. I know a lot of people like to do it in the morning, but everybody's different. To each his own, you know. Just allow. Anyway, during that, I always come up with some of the, when I'm going down, when I'm trying to, as I try to lose my thought, as I go higher in consciousness. Some people think of that as going down in a state of relaxation. I think about it as going up in altitudes of consciousness. Whatever. I was thinking about all the astrology, all the tarot, all the reporters right now, the earth practitioners, the advisors, the spiritual guides, whatever, whatnot, the Hailka, you know, all of us, we all got stuff to say extra right now. It's like an extra all hands on deck right now. And that wasn't a good idea. I'm trying to do a live. I'm butter in my own hands. Anyway, focus, Marjo, focus. They're all kind of saying, you know, all this stuff is going to be revealed. You know, all this stuff is coming out. All of it more. And it happens every year. This is no different. It's no different. It's no different than last year and the year before, you know. Everybody has a chance every year. You know, because what I think it starts with New Year's resolution, and then it goes downhill from there, and then by the end of the year, and you look back, you're like, God, I'm no different. Actually, I put on all this extra weight, and I've actually freaking lowered in vibration. You know, the way I look at it in this point of the game or life is either people are moving more into spirit or more into their ego, and everybody does it different. Everybody finds their own way different. You know, I had trouble with alcohol because I love it in oblivion for many years, you know, and that took me more into my ego and less farther away from my spirit. Now, you know, my body hurts and it's kind of wonky and out of alignment, but all in all, weight-wise, you know, as far as like my stats, my cholesterol and my measurable levels in my blood, you know, I'm healthy. I'm higher than the standard, you know, because I don't take pills as often as frequent as I'm in pain. I don't believe in man-made medicine, although I respect its place in the world. It's just my personal belief, and I'm not going to ever tell anybody what they should or should not do. We are all autonomous in this life, and that's what we're supposed to be learning, you know. And it's like, the way I look at it is if, you know, are you prepared for the test, you know? Did you study? You know, I never studied. I really wanted to believe in osmosis. You know, I would really do the whole freaking, I would try osmosis. I would spend more time with like a book on my head trying to see if I could soak up the information and then prove it to myself. And if I would have just put that time into studying, I would have passed the test, probably. But I was always just did things different. I mean, I went to high school in 1992, and then my mouth says it's 2019. And then I think about the world, how it was then. I lived in freaking redneck USA, and you know what? I still didn't care. I was me. I got kicked in the face and knocked down a flight of stairs. You know, people are low vibrational. That's what I learned from the best. I learned how to freaking learn how to pick the lowest vibrational people in each crowd, and I made a point to put myself in every paradigm I possibly could to find out, you know, and come to find out low vibrational is low vibrational, and doesn't matter if you're working in Corp USA, you know. I know I've worked in plenty of freaking hospitals, you know, they freaking all got porn on their freaking stuff, man. I was in IT with all of them. I'd tell my boss, nobody'd ever get in trouble, you know, and now, year after year after year, you know, because people have been keeping their friends safe, and, you know, they don't want to embarrass anyone and all that, you know. People have gotten more into their ego and started doing more dastardly things, you know, because they got away with stuff, and now it's like they're starting to just outright do stuff right in your face, you know. It's like, nobody's gonna say anything anyway, but people are saying stuff, man. People are saying stuff. Rest assured, you know, justice happens, you know. It's justice is only really for the patient, and we don't always get to see it, you know. What we think or deem as justice, you know, you just have to know it exists. Because even if the justice it is in ours, even if you see justice happen in somebody else's life, that's the justice. There is justice happening. So just be happy for other people. If you don't think that your life is falling in line exactly how you think it ought to, well, there go your ego. Dude, time ain't even real, man. It's a trip, man. I did a 180. I've done a 180 from who I used to be a few times, man. I used to be so angry because I'm fixing to go back to where I came from, my stomping grounds, and that brings back a lot of reflection because I've had a lot of life experience between then and now, and it's not the same place either. So the world changes every day. We never wake up to the world being as it was. The thing is people are having a better idea of how they want the world to be. So they're I was like I was talking about things I was thinking about in my meditate state, and I was like, because I made the mistake of looking at MSN or something right before I was scrolling around, just like trying to gather some vibe of just mainstream, what's going on in mainstream stuff, right? And it's like there's been 11 deaths or something associated with vaping. Now, I live in Oregon, and the governor's just an idiot. It's just, and it's nothing, it's not even a personal thing, but it's stupid because they are putting things to inhibit the use of vaping, but alcohol kills people every day. It kills, like in the city of Salem, I bet 4 people are going to die today because of alcohol related. Not 11 in like a year. 4 people today. Talking like drinking and driving, somebody like getting drunk and they fall down and bump their head, alcohol related, anything alcohol related. I'm talking about cirrhosis. I'm talking about, you know, the guy who freaking got the wrong idea and, you know, was thinking his old lady was stepping out on him and he had too much to drink, so he took justice into his own hands, and, you know, there she goes, you know, life lost, alcohol related incident, you know, at least 4. I'm sure guessing at least in a city this, but that because that creates so much revenue. Because I looked it up, I went on this. If you look in my earlier videos, I did a lot more reporting with stats, like a couple of videos. The Salem, Oregon, more capital than the capital. You know, and I have my story about how I haven't had water since June of last year, and all this stuff, and it's like I'm just another story of 100 or 1,000 of how cities and governments have taken 40% of people's paychecks for years and years and years, and all they did is get to the point where they pay themselves 120, 140, 100, up 1,000 a year. And while people were like trusting them to take care of stuff, infrastructures everywhere are crumbling. Cities are, gas mains are blowing. Kids can't go to school because there's a gas that, every day there's stories all, and it's more and more prevalent because they didn't do their diligence and they dropped the ball. And people like me, we're the ones that always said, hey, shouldn't you be doing this? Hey, shouldn't you be doing that? Oh, we're always in IT. I always had the crap jobs. I was an age ranger. I worked on flight line support off it. I know, evidently it's a high profile gig. I was a grunt, just more pony shows, more of watching people the wrong people get impressed, and more people wasting money to fly halfway across the country to play rounds of golf and be home by 5, all in the taxpayers' money, and multi-million-dollar company, multi-million-dollar freaking buildings being built on the base over here, and it's like, I was in maintenance, we couldn't get freaking oil filters, but you're building a new freaking gym over there for the officers. It was all the time. I got to the point that freaking powerful people, they all suck. Because as I got older, I couldn't see the decency anywhere. Where were the good ones? I couldn't see them. They're all freaking buried and they're freaking veiled in their egos. And now look at the world we have. And thank God the kids, I'd really feel burnt out. I'm just glad that they're freaking people are listening to somebody. I don't care if people listen to me. I got a nice little group. I don't really need that kind of press. Because I got a big mouth and freaking it ain't always welcome, y'all. It ain't always welcome. Because I got a truth, and my truth is obvious. I think the stuff I state is obvious. Like, what are you worried about 11 vape deaths in, a year period when you're endorsing, because the rest, the taxes generated by alcohol alone in the state of Oregon are like, 2 years ago it was 11 million just for alcohol. Don't get me started on the fishing game or even the taxes for the lottery, because there's only so many people in this state. There's millions of, but the state and the city, they like to, they feed their egos. So when they do projects like they did out in my front yard, they have the concrete blocks poured and cast, and they get them from Washington State because somebody has a cousin who freaking pours concrete. What, you're taking jobs out of local, like what, you don't have contractors that pour and cast pieces like that here in Salem? I bet you do. But it's all that stuff, and all that stuff is dying, and this season it's bigger, and it's in the main media, the main news. It's everywhere. It's more and more corrupt people are coming down. So it's just like, let them, the fat cats are falling, dude. They are falling. They are fallen. The fat cats are exploding. Yep. The fat cats. And I love cats, so that's sad for me. I need to think of a different analogy. Lizards. I don't really like lizards much. No. And little obnoxious bratty boys used to freaking, I've known those guys. I know that vibration used to blow up lizards, think it's fun. They're just freaking, I know what psychopaths are, and if people listen to themselves, they freaking know too. And they're gonna realize that they're going to work and they're going, oh my god, I freaking totally work for a psychopath. And once you start, looking into things, you might be surprised what you find out. Anyway, I don't need to be yammering on for too long. I was gonna get, today's pretty chill, I think. Did I close my window? There it is. How long? 22. I wonder, I'm going to read about that, because their lap time doesn't make sense to me. But if you're looking for some other different reports that, you know, you maybe aren't in alignment with mine, Adrienne Elise, she's got a great tube over there, you know. Cindy Callan, she's got a neat thing going on. There's a lot of people. It's just, at this point, it's all about who you can stand. It's all about, you know, who you're in alignment with. And me, that's why I think that, I mean, I'm pretty versatile as far as, like, who I check in. I mean, because I'll listen to people I can't stand. Like, like, I'm going like this because their voices are freaking just like nails on a chalkboard for me, but it's just because they remind me of so many other people that there's a reason. It's me. It's not them. Anyways, but I'll listen to their message. Because it's all about how we perceive things, right, y'all? Yep. Anyway. I do feel better than I did yesterday. The dogs freaking wanted to eat. Benny ate, they already ate dinner at like 1:30. Benny just had it stuck in his mind. I was like, alright, I ain't gonna argue with you. You know, live it up, homeboy. So I think that's about all I got. Sit back and watch a show. Hey, if you've done all the spiritual work, you know, if you have, the way I look at it is, you believe something bigger than yourself that you can freaking plug into every now and again to calibrate yourself, to remind yourself that you are a spirit having a human experience and not too caught up in humans having a spiritual experience in living in ego. And oh, when I was talking about mainstream, you see it. I mean, people's egos, you know. That dude's look at that dude's been in his ego his whole life from Jersey Shore. Just homeboy got arrested. Same from chick from Clueless. She's always done that, and I'm surprised. Another one, when some of these configurations, Heather Locklear, she has bouts. You know, a lot of these flares are people, you know, that have different personality or different astrological alignments, and they're flaring, and they're choosing ego over spirit, and it happens every time. I mean, you can tell. Oh man, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. When I'm freaking, I know when I'm in my ego, I can't stand it. And this thing is, I understand and I recognize the importance of an ego, because if I didn't have an ego, I would probably talk myself out of doing these videos every single day of my life. But I'm an Aries, so I got plenty. So, that's all I got. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.